Hi, this is Theo from PocketBlocks.com. Today I'm going to review this graphics tablet. This is the Huion H610 Pro. This is the competitor to Wacom Intuos tablet. I have read a lot of reviews regarding this tablet online. Some say that it's very good, some say that it's not that good. So today I'm going to review this and show you how it is when it comes to drawing on different programs. Let's talk about the hardware first. For this particular tablet, it supports 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity. And there is no tilt sensitivity, so this is quite similar to Wacom Intuos, the cheaper models. On the left side here, there are some buttons that have been pre-programmed with keyboard shortcuts. For example, the first one is undo, eraser, brush, zoom in, zoom out, the brush size increasing and decreasing, and there's this little hand too. There are also additional shortcuts here. These are the so-called soft keys, so you have to pre-program them yourself, and to activate them you have to use your stylus to press on the number itself. I personally do not use this because whenever I need to use them, I have to look at the numbers in order to click it, so I don't like looking at the surface when I can look at my screen while drawing. So I use the physical buttons more because I can feel the physical buttons, I can press them without looking at them. This is much more convenient. The buttons, they are quite firm and they work very well. These buttons, by the way, they are programmed for Photoshop. So if you are using other programs, if the keyboard shortcuts for other programs are similar to Photoshop, then you can share the buttons. But if they are not similar to Photoshop, then these buttons may or may not work with other software. So in order to use this tablet, you have to plug this into your computer using a USB port. This is the USB port. It's those ports that are used by Canon scanner, so you can share the cables. This is actually a cable from my Canon scanner because I don't like to have too many cables, so I just use one cable. So once you plug it in, and if you move your pen around, you can see the light will shine. So once you click it on the surface, the light will stay on. Let me show you the driver and some of the settings that you can change. This is tablet driver version V11.0.8. Some of the things you can change are the button functions on the stylus. There are two buttons here, so you can change them to different settings. For example, mouse click left, right, middle, or a specific keyboard key. I normally leave this at default. You can also change the pressure sensitivity. There is no, usually for this kind of drivers, sometimes they have this little square box where you can see your pressure curve, but not for this particular driver. And for some reason you cannot drag this little button around. You can click it around, but you just cannot drag it, so strange thing. Screen setting, I'm using a 4K monitor, so this, by the way, will be at default. You will set it to your monitor. Let's see what their things are under advanced setting. Now for advanced setting, you can change the physical buttons on the left side of the tablet. So these are all the 8 buttons that are available. And if you want the soft keys at the top of the drawing area, you can do so as well. Just click on them and then assign a specific key to those soft keys. You can either enable the soft key or disable the soft key. This is the mapping area. I want the mapping area to be full area so that the surface of the tablet will match the screen. And if you are a left-handed user, you can check this button here. Oops, accidentally checked that. So you can turn the tablet around to use it if you are a left-handed person. And I think that is all for the driver settings. Nothing too much, it's pretty straightforward. As for the pen, this is battery powered, so you do need to charge it, and to charge it there is this little charging port here at the back. You just use the supplied cable, plug it in, and then plug the USB port into your computer. The pen has two buttons here, and the grip is sort of like some sort of matte surface. Overall, the pen feels quite light, and I think it feels a bit cheap, but it is quite strong. Just that it's very light. So depending on your drawing preference, sometimes you may like a heavier pen, sometimes you like a pen that is light. Personally, I like a pen that is as light as a pencil. This is the tip, and this is replaceable. I think it comes out a bit too easily, but anyway, if you are not going to be pulling it out, it's not going to be a problem. So this is the tip here. Let me show you the stand that comes with the pen. This is the stand. I think there is a bottom of the stand. Yes, there is the bottom. This is the bottom, and it comes with 4 replacement nibs. And there is this little piece of metal that you can use to basically clip the nib here and pull it out. Just now, as I have shown you, you can just pull it out with your fingers. And let's put this together. So it goes together like this, and you can put a pen on top of it like this. Battery power for this pen is very good. It can last for several weeks, so the fact that this is battery power is not going to be a problem at all. And because there is a charging port behind, you don't have an eraser behind the pen. This is Photoshop, so you can see the cursor moving around here. I'm just going to show you some very quick, very faint hatching lines. So this tablet is actually quite sensitive. I would say it's almost as sensitive as Wacom tablet, and the feeling of the nib on the surface of the tablet is very similar to Wacom as well. There is good friction, there is good control, and if you press down hard, you can see that the lines, they taper quite smoothly as well, and they taper very gradually. It really depends on what kind of lines you want. So let's try some thick and thin lines to show you. Now, some of the graphics tablet, they have this tendency to have wobbly lines, especially when you are drawing straight lines, but not so for this particular brand. I know Huion tablets, some of them, especially the pen display monitors, you know, those monitors where you can draw on, sometimes they have problems with drawing smooth lines. But here with this tablet, the lines here are really very smooth. The drivers are downloaded from Huion's website, so this is pretty standard. Let's switch over to another software called Medibank Paint. This is a free drawing software. Let me just create a new file and try to enlarge this. Alright, let me choose this pen here and show it to you. Alright, okay, I think there is some problem with this particular software. As I lift up the pen, the lines still continue to come out. So now my pen is on the surface. Now my pen is off the surface, and you can see that this line is still going, and once I lift it far away from the surface, it stops. So this is very problematic. This is unusable in Medibank Paint Pro. I'm not sure if this is a problem with Medibank Paint Pro or with the Huion tablet drivers, but I don't have this sort of problems with Wacom tablets. So let me close this and switch to another application. Let's try Krita. This is Krita. Let me choose the brush. Pressure sensitivity works. Oops, the cursor is stuck. So once I lift off the cursor once I lift the pen off the surface of the tablet, the cursor on the screen stops, it hangs until I put down another stroke. But when it hangs, I cannot see where the cursor is going to go even though I'm moving my pen across the tablet. So I would say that this is also unusable in Krita. Let's quit this program and let's see where, let's use this program called Mischief. Alright, just now I've drawn something. Let's do some very quick strokes again. Tablet works fine with Mischief. So these are the thin lines, and if you draw them thick with pressure, these are the thick lines. Let me clear the canvas. Thin and thick and thin and thick. Alright. So this is quite a good tablet for drawing in Mischief as well. Let's see what other software do I have. I think that's almost all the software that I have. Photoshop, it works very well. On Mischief, this software, it works very well, but it doesn't work well with Krita. It doesn't work well with Medibank Paint. Oh, I still have this software. This is called Sketches Pro. This is actually an iPad app, but they also have a version for Mac OS, so let's try this. It doesn't really support a lot of tools with pressure sensitivity, so the only one that supports it is this particular pen. And it works quite well too. So if I press down hard, I can get darker lines for this particular pen. And the lines are straight, they are predictable, they go where I want them to be. So yeah, this is Sketches Pro, and it works fine. Let's do a recap on the pros and cons of this tablet. The build quality is actually quite good. I also like the buttons on the left side. They give you a firm feedback when you press on them. These buttons, they are assigned to keyboard shortcuts of Photoshop. However, you can reassign them if you want to. The drawing surface has a nice matte texture to it, so when you use your pen on this surface, it gives you that slight texture. This is actually very similar to Wacom tablets. And as for the cons, I wasn't able to test this tablet with all the drawing software available, of course, but with some of the software that I showed you earlier, some of them work, some of them do not work. So if you really do want to buy this tablet, I highly recommend you do some research online to see whether or not the software that you want to use, whether it is supported by this tablet. I think that's the probably the biggest con to this tablet. And lastly, the pricing. I bought this around 70 to 80 US dollar. This is a so-called medium-sized tablet, so this is slightly larger than A5. If you were to buy a Wacom tablet at this size, it's usually 2 times as much, so that's $160 thereabouts. So for US $80, I think it's still worth it, especially if you want to buy this for use with Photoshop. Yeah, so that's all for my review today. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below. I will also post a link to my text review. I will mention some of the software that are supported and some of the software that are not supported. And if you are using this drawing tablet, do share with me some of your experience, especially when it comes to software support. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so for more art product reviews, sketching tips and tutorials. Bye!